So I did some mock draft simulator predictions to see what exactly the Bears would do with their first round pick. So I'm going to share these results with you guys because I thought it was pretty interesting. So what is going on, y'all? Fox Sports all back at it with another video talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, guys, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Would really appreciate that. We are literally so close to the NFL draft. You can feel the atmosphere in the air. I can't wait. I'm hyped. So we've talked a lot about the draft, right? So I was like, let's see, what else can we do where, I can bring you guys some new, fresh info. So I'm like, let me just run a mock draft simulator, right? And so that's what I did. I went on this mock draft simulator database website, and I basically had them simulate the draft. I did 10 times, right? I didn't want to go there and click the computer 50 times. So I did 10 times. And I said, okay, let's see what the Bears end up with in these 10 mock draft simulations. So here are the results. The first simulation, the computer, I'm just going to go ahead and say, had the Bears taking Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle from Texas. So I'm going to keep a tally here for the guys, by the way. All right, so Kelvin Banks was the pick. At the second simulation, there was a trade. All right, there was a trade that was done where the Bears traded down with the Seahawks all the way to number 18. And this was the biggest shocker to me. They took a safety, Malachi Starks. I know safety's, a little bit of a need for sure. Maybe certainly long-term, not short-term. But I don't see a world in which they go ahead and trade down and take a safety. I could be wrong, but to me, this seemed like the least likely. So trade down isn't least likely. It's very likely. But taking a safety, Malachi Starks, I just don't see that happening. All right, so that was the second simulation. Third one, Shamar Stewart. All right, Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher. And haven't talked a lot about Shamar Stewart. I've certainly seen mock drafts having the Bears taking him. His measurables are off the charts. Super athletic guy. So I wouldn't have a problem here with them taking Shamar Stewart. He's an edge rusher. He fits a need. Some people like Mike Greenmore. There's guys out there that, people are higher on. But I don't hate the pick. But that is what they had with the third simulation. Fourth one, here we go, Ashton Jeanty. In this one, he did fall. By the way, in all the previous three ones, he was gone. So I'm just going to tell you right now, anytime Ashton Jeanty was, available, he was taken pretty much. All right, so the fourth simulation had Ashton Jeanty. Fifth one, Shamar Stewart again. Okay, sixth, Kelvin Banks. 7, Kelvin Banks. 8, Ashton Jeanty. 9, Kelvin Banks. 10, Ashton Jeanty. So a final tally out of 10 simulations in the mock draft, Kelvin Banks Jr. with 4, Ashton Jeanty with 3, Shamar Stewart with 2, and a trade down. All right, those were the results. And so my biggest takeaway from this is, look, folks, I really do think this is becoming the most realistic outcome. I literally just made a video the other day talking about the most realistic outcome. And I said, hey, if Ashton Jeanty's there, the Bears are taking him. No questions about it. If Will Campbell is there, but Jeanty is gone, they're taking Will Campbell. And then if both those guys are gone, I believe they're trading down. And if they don't trade down, I believe they take Kelvin Banks Jr. And just to reiterate a couple of the talking points here, to me, Kelvin Banks Jr. is a very safe prospect who fits a need. He's got experience. He just needs a little bit of polishing. But to me, he's a guy, even though, some Bears fans are not, high on him and think 10 is a reach, I don't hate this because, like I mentioned, to me, he does have some of the things that the other ones you don't have to worry about, the short arms like Will Campbell, switching positions from right tackle, left tackle like a Membo. I just feel like Kelvin Banks is a safe, solid prospect. Maybe not the highest ceiling in the world, but certainly a high floor. So to me, I really do think he is the most realistic outcome at number 10 that the Bears and Bears fans should probably be preparing for. All right, so that was the mock draft simulator, but there is more. All right, I did my own sort of picking here. Now, the computer was picking in the first part of this. I did another experiment where I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick at 10, right? So give me the first 9 picks, getting selected, and then let me know at 10 what is available, and I'll tell you who I'll pick. So this one, even more interesting. The first simulation, there was a trade. all right? As soon as I got to the number 10, by the way, I got trade offers. So let me just say, by the way, in all 10 simulations, I got trade offers. So that is why I keep telling you trading down is a very big possibility, because every single time I got a trade. Now, again, it's a mock draft. Who knows if that will happen, but essentially, let me walk you through the trade. I got multiple offers. But this one from the Giants was, I felt like a little too good to pass up. They were giving me, for the number 10 overall pick, 34-65, a 2026 first and a 2026 third. Okay? So moving up 24 spots, which is a lot, but you give me a first next year and a third. And the Giants, I don't think they're going to be great next year either. That first is going to be valuable. So I said, I'm taking that. Thank you very much. And then at 34, I took Travion Hendrickson. At 39, I took Donovan Jackson, the offensive guard out of Ohio State. And I took James Pierce, the edge from Tennessee. So to me, I was pretty happy with that haul. So in that package, you get 34, 39, and 41. Like, that is incredible value to have right there as far as, just being able to get solid players. Maybe you don't get a rock solid elite player, but you get 3 really solid guys to shore up maybe the edge position, a tackle, a running back. So to me, I love the trade and I didn't want to pass up on it, so I didn't. So that was the first scenario, by the way, a trade down. I got multiple offers, by the way. Second one, Ashton Jeanty was available. I took him. Plain and simple. Third one, Armand Membo was available. That was my pick. So Tyler Warren was also available at this point. So was Kelvin Banks. So was Mike Green. But I went with Membo. Fourth mock draft, I went with Ashton Jeanty as he was available. Fifth one, Ashton Jeanty, he was available. Sixth one, he was not available. Ashton Jeanty wasn't. And I went ahead and took Kelvin Banks. Membo was also taken up here, but Tyler Warren was on the board and Mike Green was on the board. 7, I took Kelvin Banks again. 8, I took Ashton Jeanty. 9, I took Armand Membo. And 10, I took Ashton Jeanty. For a final tally of 5 mock drafts, taking Ashton Jeanty, 2 with Armand Membo, 2 with Kelvin Banks, and 1 trade down. So in this one, that tells me Ashton Jeanty falling to the Bears at 10 could very much happen if he just gets past the Raiders. Right? If he just gets past the Raiders, I could easily see us getting Jeanty, because do you really think that, the Jets take him? I don't. Do you really think the Panthers take him? I don't. The Saints could potentially, but I don't. So it's like, I think Jeanty falls. So it's really the Raiders being the wild card here, but he kept falling to me, so I kept scooping him up, and I told you, if he's available, I'm taking him. The Bears are taking him. Cleanest running back prospect we've seen in years. It's going to be an absolute stud. Just going to be the guy, the missing piece, our Jahmyr Gibbs. Just checks all the boxes. Just checks all the boxes. So to me, that's just a no-brainer there. And then Membo and Banks, it's just, pick your flavor. I guess some people are higher on Membo than Banks. I didn't mind either. So to me, I have Membo rated a little bit higher than Banks. But again, don't mind either. And then last one I said was a trade down. So to me, that really shows kind of what I've been talking about the whole time, right? It's going to be Jeanty. It's going to be Will Campbell. It's going to be Kelvin Banks. It could be Armand Membo. Like, there's just like these 4 or 5 guys that I feel really comfortable with being the pick. It's just how the board is going to shake out. So to me, that is essentially what I have here. Let me know what you guys think about that, the mock drafts that I presented to you guys. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always.